Welcome to Ohio Airgun Shooter. On today's video, we'll just be following up on the HK VP9 from Umarex. Today we're going to do some velocity testing and do some shooting. And if you're new to the channel, thank you for joining. I'm happy to have you. As you can see here, I have some products that I'm going to use today, starting with Umarex brand 12 gram CO2 cartridges, some silicone oil, and then I have these rubber balls. They're just a soft rubber ball. I have them stored in this old Kool-Aid, powdered Kool-Aid container. Works great for them. And I'm also going to use these nylon plastic balls. I got 1 gram written on them, but I believe they're under. And then I'm going to use these rubber steel balls. And I have these aluminum balls. And we'll try some of these T4E paintballs. I'll shoot some inside for velocity testing, and then maybe we'll take some outside and see if we can splatter them on some steel plates. First off, I'm going to weigh a few of each one just to get an actual weight. That way I have a general idea of the exact weight, because differences in weight will affect the velocity numbers. First, I'll weigh the rubber balls. These are being weighed in grams. Let me try to get this scale out of the glare. There, that's better. This one's coming in at 0.74 grams. That one was at 0.729, so 0.73, and another one at 0.74, so right about 3/4 of a gram. Next we'll do the nylon balls. Just under 0.92. So these are all at about 0.92, so just under a gram. Next, the rubber steel balls, 0.629. So those are all at 1.6 to 1.63. Now the aluminum balls. First one came in at 1.84. That one was at a heavy 1.84. And that one's at 1.813. So just under, they're all about 1.8 then. Now the paintballs. 0.751. So these also are at about 3/4 of a gram. .76. So yeah, these are definitely 3/4 of a gram. I was guessing them at about 1 gram, so they're under. To insert the CO2 cartridge into the magazine is very simple. You just slide this little plastic plate towards the back, and then you install your CO2 capsule, but you might have to twist the Allen screw down to where it just kind of drops in, or that way you want it to seat in there properly. And then I just add a drop of silicone oil to the top of the cartridge before I insert it. And then just twist up till it touches, and then I give it about a 3/4 of a twist. And you can hear it hiss, and now you know you have the CO2 cartridge installed properly. And then just slide this plate back into place, and now you're ready to load up some ammunition. You just pull the follower down, and it does lock into place. As you can see here, I have the rubber ball spring installed, so it has a bit more tension than the paintball spring. But first, I'm going to load up 8 rounds of each. We're going to start out with the rubber balls. These are the lightest. Loading each ball is very easy when you have the follower down. You just put it in the hole there, and they just drop into place. Very simple. First up are the rubber balls, 0.74 grams weighed. I'll be using my X-Radar chronograph. It measures up to 698 feet per second. And I'll be shooting at a cardboard box with plastic shopping bags. And the indoor temperature is 71 degrees Fahrenheit. I'll also be shooting just from my rested position, so I can kind of just rest my hand lightly, so I can place the chronograph where I need to do it. Just kind of keep a steady grip. First shot came in at 392 feet per second. So we've already exceeded the claimed 370 feet per second. That one was at 384 feet per second. 370 feet per second. Up a bit to 372 feet per second. And now back down to 358. 344. 350 feet per second. Shot number 8 came in at 334 feet per second. Here are your averages for the rubber balls. I gave about a 5-minute pause in between shooting to let the gun and everything else warm back up due to CO2 cool down. Next up are the nylon balls. Again, 8 shots. This is the same CO2 cartridge. First shot, 370 feet per second. Down 10 to 360 feet per second. Another 10 to 350 feet per second. And then down to 346 feet per second. 330 feet per second. 332 feet per second, 326 feet per second, and that one came in at 318 feet per second. Here's your averages. I'm going to leave the same CO2 cartridge in for the paintballs, since all three of these were the lightest of all the projectiles that I'm using. So we'll just keep the same CO2 cartridge in and see how it performs. There was a 5-minute pause to warm everything back up. That one, first shot, 354 feet per second with the paintballs. 352 feet per second. 344 feet per second. Another 344 feet per second. That one's down to 330 feet per second. Back up to 334 feet per second. 326 feet per second. And another 330 feet per second. Here are your averages for the T4E paintballs. I am going to change out the CO2 cartridge for the heavier projectiles and allow about a 5-minute warm-up after I exhaust all the CO2 gas out. 5 minutes later, we have the rubber steel balls with a fresh CO2 cartridge installed. First shot, 296 feet per second. That one came in at 284 feet per second. 274 feet per second. 268 feet per second. So the heavier rubber steel balls have definitely lowered our velocity. 248 feet per second. 246 feet per second. And shot number 8, 238 feet per second. So with the rubber steel balls, here's your averages. We're in the mid to upper 200s. I had this little nylon ball kind of roll back towards me. We're going to wait another 5 minutes to allow everything to warm back up again. And now we're going to shoot the aluminum balls using the same CO2 cartridge. I'm going to flip the box over to start a new hole. Try to prevent these aluminum balls from hitting anything else that I've already shot. First shot, 252 feet per second. That's with the aluminum balls. 242 feet per second. 240 feet per second. 244 feet per second. Down to 238. Another 238. And then 230 feet per second. And the last shot came in at 232 feet per second. Here are your averages for the aluminum balls. So with the light rate projectiles, you're in the mid to upper 300s, and then with the heaviers, you're kind of in the mid 200s. As you can see, my target withheld, nothing went through the back. I'll be able to clean a lot of those out and reuse them. Next, I'm going to do a little target testing. And for my target, we have this very, very bad man. We'll see if we can take care of him. From where I'll be standing and shooting, the distance is about 6.5 yards. And I just taped some targets up, kind of one at the shoulder, your kneecaps, your upper leg, and then we'll see about hitting him in the face. Yeah, he's not a very nice guy. He doesn't like my cats. And I'll be using these. Actually, I was going to use the rubber balls, but I'm going to use these nylon balls instead because I was afraid the rubber ones might just bounce back. So we'll use the nylon ones instead. They should punch through the cardboard pretty good. He's a very tall brute, as you can see. So, and I love my cats. So, we're going to have to take care of this guy. Anybody coming at my cats with a knife is going to be a problem. This is the nice thing about air guns, is that you can train and practice in your basement. I mean, you can actually fire the guns and without even spending that much money on ammunition, and you don't even have to wear earplugs. And I think it does make a valuable tool when training, especially in close quarters. He's not down yet, so we'll load up another magazine and finish him off. To the shoulder, a few to the lungs, a couple on the leg, and 2 to the kneecaps. So, and a bunch to the face. So, yeah, hitting in the face definitely would not feel all that well, especially with, I would say, with a metal projectile. Especially if you got hit in the eye. I mean, you ever been just poked in the eye? You remember how bad that felt? Now imagine getting hit in the face or the eye with a aluminum round traveling at over 200 feet per second. I'm not saying use this for self or home defense. I'm just saying if all else fails and this is all you had, I mean, a couple good shots to the face would definitely make them hurt. But it does make a great training tool. Now this holster I'm using, it's just an old Uncle Mike's. It's kind of interchangeable for sides, and it has a little pouch for spare magazines. I've had it for quite a while, and it fits a lot of my guns perfectly, especially this HK VP9. Yeah, I have to say that I like it. I definitely give it a thumbs up for fun. It's definitely a fun gun. So, the HK VP9 from Umarex. If you're an owner of an actual VP9 firearm, then this may be the perfect training tool for you. Hey everybody, I was about ready to wrap up this video, and I just wanted to share a little something else with you. When I went to go get the holster for the VP9, I had my Beretta APX already in it, and it just all of a sudden dawned on me as to why I really fell in love with the VP9 platform, because I purchased this a few years back, and it's just a 4.5 millimeter BB gun. Anyhow, it just has a stick magazine. It's blowback, double action only. Anyhow, after purchasing this quickly became one of my favorite air guns, air pistols to hold. It's just the comfort level of this grip, this air gun is just, it screams hold me, and it just wants to be held. And this VP9 it has a very similar feel to it, and that's exactly why I think I fell in love with the HK VP9. It's just, they're just very comfortable to hold. And I don't know if there's any effect on your shooting if you just have a very comfortable gun in your hand. I'm sure that affects your accuracy or whatever, but I just wanted to share that with you. Like I said, when I went and got the holster, it just dawned on me that the reason why I love the VP9 so much is because I love the ergonomics of the Beretta APX, which is a very fun little blowback BB gun. For what I paid for it, it was well under $60, I believe, when I got it years ago. Anyhow, and I've been impressed with it. I mean, it has a stick magazine, but has a very good positive click. I mean, it's a little rattly, but it ain't too bad. I mean, you hold the slide, there's nothing. So, and it does come with white dot sights, which on a lot of stuff that you don't get for twice as much, or a lot of stuff that you get for twice as much, don't even have the white dot sights. Anyhow, just wanted to share with you. I'm gonna try to get outside and do some paintball shooting with the VP9, so you can see how well that splatters outside. It's a little chilly this morning. It's supposed to warm up, and we'll get out and maybe hit some steel targets. So stay tuned. Thank you. Hey guys, I'm back. Yeah, I got these steel targets that I made. I got one set up at about 5.5 yards for where I'll be standing and shooting, and then the second one's about 10.5 yards. So we'll just load up some paintballs and see if we can nail them a few times. Hit them with the HK VP9 from Umarex. It's a lot warmer now than it was this morning. However, I am carrying the magazine in my pocket with the CO2 installed just to kind of help warm it up a bit. So let's go load up some paintballs and do some shooting. I won't be shooting at those pumpkins. I just put them there for decoration. But these are like a thin steel plate. I just attached them to these small stakes. And they work pretty good for paintballs. I use them for my Glock 17 Gen 5. And yeah, they're pretty fun. They'd probably work for lead pellets too, but I don't want the lead dust in the backyard. Now, I left the rubber ball spring in because these little 43 caliber paintballs, they seem to be very stiff, and I shot them with the rubber ball spring in when I did the velocity testing, and they did okay. So I haven't swapped the springs back out yet. So we'll shoot 8 of them and see if we can hit the targets and see how it goes. It's I think it's about 70 degrees Fahrenheit outside today. It's overcast. So there's a few peaks of sun here and there, but overall it's just been a cloudy day. I hit the 5-yard target twice, and then I tried the 10-yard target. I hit it once, and it seemed like I was missing. But what happened was looks like the paintballs, it kind of blew out inside the magazine. So I went and changed the spring back to the paintball spring to see if that was the problem. Maybe the tension was too high for the paintballs, and they were getting stuck in there, and it was just the CO2 gas was just busting them before they even had a chance to leave the barrel. So we'll try some with the paintball spring. Again, I hit the first 5-yard target dead on, and then the 10-yard target I was high and to the left, and then I saw a couple of them go over top of it. However, it seemed like I wasn't shooting anything, and again, it looks like the balls were being blown out inside the magazine and before they even had a chance to leave the barrel. So everything was just exploding inside the gun itself. You can see the mess here. So I just think that there's too much CO2 gas, too much energy for these paintballs. You almost need like a thicker skin paintball.
Try a couple more.
I had a few really bad flyers as well. One just went sharply off to the upper right. But that's why we do this, trial and error. Now, I didn't run into this problem at all with my Glock 17 Gen 5. It fired every paintball that I loaded up into it cleanly. Now on the magazine, the top of it, there's this little rubber detent piece, and I'm wondering if that's acting as a hop-up, and maybe it's just when they're being launched, it's ripping them apart. One good thing about these paintballs and using them on the steel plates is that look how easily you can wipe them off. I kind of stepped in a hole there. Honestly, I haven't been drinking. I'll be doing that later for the Guardians Tigers game. We'll try a couple more. I'll just try the 10-yard target. That said, I probably should have just stuck with the 5-yard. These aren't very accurate at all. Yeah, this was pretty much an absolute fail. The ammunition, not the gun. I might decide just to stick with solid projectiles such as rubber balls, nylon balls, etc. Yeah, just definitely made a mess of the chamber area and the magazine. So I'm gonna have to clean all this up. So I just think there's too much gas blowing out,
It's just making
and it's
a mess.
just breaking the balls before they even have a chance to leave the gun.
Busted them before they're coming out of the barrel.
Yeah, I definitely have some cleaning to do. But yeah, here's the rubber ball spring. But I still like the gun. It shot the other projectiles just fine. It's just these paintballs. So I'm definitely going to have to work with these some more and see what kind of other outcomes I can get. But thank you for watching, and please like and subscribe to my channel. Thank you.